Here's a bit of a wild statement. Our bodies are telling us if a relationship is for us all of the time. It is telling us so many things that we're maybe just not picking up on, or we're maybe not giving ourselves time or space to feel into. And that's what this video is going to be about. We're going to go through different parts of the body, different wisdom centers in the body, different languages of the body, so that you can determine if a relationship in your life, whether it be a brand new relationship, someone you just met, or someone you've been with for a little while, maybe thinking about taking it to the next level, or even long-term relationships, even something you've been in for years, to feel, and maybe you're having that question of, is this still right for me? Okay, so we're gonna have to get a little deeper than just the mind, just the mental realm in this conversation. I'm gonna invite you to just take a couple of deep breaths as we go in. I promise I won't take us into like big practices in this conversation, but just like breathing into your belly, like a deep breath. I promise you'll get so much more out of this video. I promise you. And then take a deep breath into your heart. Like if you were gonna give your heart oxygen, just take a deep breath into your heart. And now here's kind of a fun one. Let your jaw, your throat relax. So kind of breathe in a way that lets your jaw and your throat relax. Now, breathe all the way down to like your tailbone. So all the way down right into your hips. Just breathe right into your hips. And kind of let your hips relax. I know that just doing that shifts the whole of my body. By the way, that's a practice that you could do every single day. It's a really simple embodiment practice to just breathe into those different parts of the body. All right, let's get on with it. So, oftentimes we feel into relationship, or we think about relationship, and we're really just analyzing it with the mind. But what I want to give us an opportunity to do is to get out of that wisdom center. It can be very powerful, and I love the logical mind. It's great, but it has its limitations. So what I would love to invite us to do first is to feel into someone in your life, just whoever it is, and you just put them right in front of you. Maybe it's the person you just went on a date with. Maybe it's someone you've been with for a little while. Doesn't matter. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's a family member. Maybe it's your beloved. Doesn't matter. And just imagine them right in front of you. And then we'll do heart first. So we'll start with heart. Heart's a great doorway in. And feel this person in front of me. What does my heart do? What does my heart do when I just imagine them? And of course, you can do this practice with them physically in front of you. It's kind of a fun practice to do with other people. It's really fun, and you can ask them what's going on for them. You can even do it without letting them know that you're doing it. You could be sitting at dinner and just go, you know, just take a brief pause, a quick second, and go, what's my heart doing? Is my heart, here's questions to ask yourself. This is really giving you a doorway in to tap into your body wisdom. Is my heart open? Is my heart expansive? Is my heart hiding? Is my heart armored? Does the energy flow easily? And sometimes we just have a sense of this or a knowing of this. Some of us are visual. We'll like see energy flowing between us and another person. We'll feel it, or we'll just sense it, or just have a knowing. But does energy, it's just raw energy. You don't have to like put a label on it like love, but you could. But is there energy flowing freely from this area of my body? Just go this area of my body to that area of their body. That's it. And then be really honest. So this is also, we will go so much further, and we will hear deeper truths and deeper intuition when we can be very, very honest about what we're sensing, feeling, and perceiving. So if we can be very honest, not just feeling into our own heart. Yes, that's extremely important, but also what is happening on the other end. I am putting so much emphasis on this because so often we project what we want to see or sense or feel in someone, not what's really there. What's really there? What's really there? I'm sensing from a place of almost like I'm backing out, and I'm not forcing something to happen. I'm not pushing so much energy that I'm perceiving that their heart is open, responsive, and the energy is flowing back and forth. Think about when you hug this person. When you hug this person, is it like a hug with a lot of space between it? Like, what does it feel like when you hug this person? And it's just to be very, very honest about it. None of these things are deal breakers. It's just giving us more information so that we can make really good decisions. Really good decisions. Okay, so that obviously gives us insights about the flow of love. So if this is a love relationship and a heart-to-heart connection, what is that? And you can really and truly just like feel when you're with that person, and you can meditate on this too. You don't even have to be with them physically, but you just go heart to heart. What's going on? Heart to heart, what's going on? Is there a good smooth flow? Am I actually blocking something, right? What is the flow like? What is the flow like? Okay, so that's one. Next, let's go to throat. Let's go to this area of the body, which is our throat. Throat represents our ability to speak our truths, our ability to be heard, linked also to our ability to stand in our truth and to be seen in our fullness. So this is something else to tap into when you're with that person, or you just imagine them in front of you, and then you feel, okay, what happens in my throat? Is my throat tightened? How do I talk to this person versus how I talk to someone who I feel like can really be me with? How much do I feel that I can express? This is expression of self. This is how comfortable I feel in expressing myself. It's how much do I feel like I have to filter? How much do I feel like I have to dim myself down? How much do I feel like I have to watch my words? These are all like red flags, if you want to call them that, or just points to really be aware of, really get honest with ourselves around. And then you can feel into the flow between your throat and another person's throat. And you just sense into how are they talking to you? Are they holding back? Are they watching their words? Are they auditing or filtering? Right? This is powerful. This is powerful. I see this especially those who are very feminine essenced. Those who are very feminine essenced, finding the relationships that really support our capacity to express self, to express self, to express self, to express our truth, to speak our truth. Okay? All right. So let's keep going. Let's come up to, actually, I want to go down. Let's go down. Let's go down into the belly. Belly to belly is a really powerful practice. It's a really powerful sensory system, a really powerful wisdom center is our gut. There's a gut brain, the gut feels, gut intuition. And you think about the gut, and the gut is digesting. So if you just feel into a human being as just a particular energy, right? They're just a particular energy. Their personality, their kind of soul essence, their blueprints, they're everything. They're all of that stuff. But they're just this energy. And then if you feel that energy of that person, right? Just that energy, and you put that energy right by your gut. And then you ask your gut, you just ask your gut. Like, it's talking all the time. We're just often not listening to gut feels or how our gut speaks or the language it speaks in. So does your belly go in a knot? Does it get tight? Does it start to rumble? Does it churn? Is their energy digestible? I know that sounds so crazy, but can we, it's like I'm an energy and they're an energy. That's it. Like I'm just a big ball of energy, they're just a big ball of energy. And what happens when these two balls of energy meet? What happens? Is the energy digestible? Is it digestible? That's powerful, 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 powerful. All right. I'm just pausing because I hear thunder and it's really beautiful. It reminds me of like gut rumbling. I don't know if you can hear that. I hope you can because it's really, really stunning. Okay, so let's drop down into our sexual center. So let's go right down into, you could go into the pelvis, you can go into your sexual organs, you can go into kind of like second chakra if you're more into chakras, but going right down into the sexual center. And when you're with that person or you're meditating with just their essence in front of you, or you just imagine them in front of you and you feel, okay, what happens? I'm smiling because I have another little tangent I can take us on in a second, which I think will be really fun. But what happens in my pelvic center? So for me, because I'm a very feminine essenced being, especially sexually, for me, there's a flow that starts to happen. It's like juiciness, aliveness, this real like, almost like watery flow that starts to happen in my pelvis. It's just an aliveness that starts to happen. It might be something very different for you, but feel into what that feels like. Is there a tightening? Is there a clenching? Is there a wanting to pull away? So for me, when there's another being in front of me and I'm just really sensing into my sexual center, is it expanding, opening? And I'm also in a woman body, I'm in a female body. And so, right, my sexual organs, they relax, they soften, and they open. That whole area of my body relaxes, softens, and opens. It's like it's opening so that I can receive someone's essence. If you're in a masculine body, or even if you're just more masculine essenced, again, bodies don't necessarily matter. It's more about the energy and our essential, authentic, core, true nature. So maybe your body becomes more straight line, right? Maybe it becomes more straight line. Maybe it becomes more in a state of like ready to penetrate, ready to enter versus ready to be entered, ready to receive. Maybe your body goes into ready to give, ready to penetrate. And so it's just, it's not pushing for it though. So this is something that I really also want to talk about and bring light to in this conversation is we so often push our body to respond in a way that is not true for it. We push ourselves, so I could push myself to receive when my body is saying no. It's saying that's not the essence, or this is not the time for me to receive right now. It's just not what's true. But it's coming into, part of this is also coming into right relationship, moving beyond conditioned patterns, habitual patterns, wounded patterns, unhealed patterns, especially sexually. We have so many of these conditioned patterns where we have worked very hard for a lot of our lives to override our intuition, to override our body wisdom. This body will tell you, it will so tell you all of these things. And so when we come into this right relationship, this deep, true, authentic relationship with our body wisdom, we know, we just know. And so when our bodies are in that state of like healthy, healed, whole, and everything is talking, like my heart talks to my yoni, which talks to my mind, which talks to my throat, right? And I can discern all of the different languages of my body. I can make such wise decisions around relationships. new relationships, old relationships, relationships that are transforming or changing, being on a date with someone, right? It's just bang, 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 bang. It's just so crystal clear. It's so crystal clear because I'm receiving information from all of the different wisdom centers in my body, all of the different wisdom centers in my body. Here's the little tangent that I would love to take us on. By the way, if you want more on this little tangent, leave a comment below because I could go off about this for a very long time. So let me know, just hold on, hear me out. But if you want more on this, let me know and we'll do an episode on this in the future. I was just sharing how sexually and in romantic relationship, I'm a very feminine essenced being. So here's something else to feel into when we're kind of in this area and feeling into this type of energy. When I'm around this other person, what energy do I kind of fall into? Do I fall into the energy I'm most craving? Do I I'm trying to find another word for fall into, but you can find other words for that. Do I embody? We could use that word too. Do I embody? Do I fall into? Do I sink into the energy of feminine essence? Which we talked a little bit about that. That's like the receiving, the opening kind of essence. There's like a flow. It's just a feminine. It's very alive. It's very pleasurable. But do I fall into, sink into, or embody that energy? Or I might go on a date with someone and I become like straight line. I become very decisive. I become decision maker. I become the one who's kind of like the directional force, which is much more of a masculine essenced, right? A masculine essenced way of being in the world. So get really honest about it. And if you don't know much about this masculine, feminine, by the way, again, if you want to hear more on this, leave a comment in the notes below. I read all of the comments. It's very helpful for me. So if you do, we'll do an episode on this. If there's enough comments about it, we'll do an episode on this in the future. But to be really honest, and sometimes we don't know if we are feminine essenced or masculine essenced, or if we crave both, or what percentages or to what degrees we crave them and in what situations. So this can get really complex, but let's try to keep it really, really simple and just talk about romantic relationship. In romantic relationship, in sexual relationship, in intimate relationship, what do I most crave? Most crave, not what am I most comfortable in necessarily, not what do I know most, not what have I experienced most. What do I most long for? What do I most crave? What are my deepest sexual fantasies? Sometimes they're the ones that we're not willing to admit to, right? They point to deeper truths about ourselves. So for me, my deepest sexual fantasies, it is always like extremely feminine essence. Always. And so that, I just know that is my deep truth. It is my deep truth. And so I honor my deep truth. I know my deep truth. And when I'm feeling into possibility of a new relationship or a new intimate encounter, it's just really going, and I'm not forcing anything also. So here's another, this is probably the most powerful tip I can give us. This goes back to these projections. I'm not forcing or pushing them. I'm not pushing them into the masculine so that I can be what I want to be. I'm not pushing them. I'm really, truly just back here reading the energy and I'm just letting it happen. I'm letting it happen. Of course, I'm a co-creator in it, but I'm not exerting my will on top of them. I'm not placing something on top of them or pushing them into something, right? This is when now we can do that. We can play in those realms, and it's beautiful to play in those realms. It's beautiful to play those polarities. But when I'm asking myself the question of, is this the relationship for me, right? Is this the relationship for me? What I do not want to do is I do not want to force a square peg into a round hole. I do not want to get delusional. I do not want to do projections. I do not want to do fairy tale stuff. I do not want to try to make them something that they are not, right? I really just want to sit back here and go, what's here? Who is this being? Who is this being? Oh, they're actually really feminine essenced. They're actually really feminine essenced, and that's beautiful. And I'm really feminine essenced, and what I'm craving sexually is masculine essenced. I'm craving masculine essence. Okay, I now know this relationship, not for me in this way. Maybe it could be great friendship, maybe it could be great something else, but it's not great sexually. It's not great intimately. Okay, so I also want to, I want to give some really tangible tips on this. We often have, many of us, I shouldn't say we as in all of us, but many of us have a tendency to date someone's potential. Now that might not make any sense to you, but this might. If we ever catch ourselves and we're in a relationship, we're on a date, or we're kind of in the phases of getting to know someone, and we go, wow, they will be so perfect when this is healed. That is a huge red flag. On you. This is on you. This is us taking ownership. Catch those thoughts. Wow, things between us will be so great when they let go of their mommy, daddy stuff. This person will be so perfect for me when they, if they, once they. This is dating future potential that has not been realized. Has not been realized. May never be realized. This is so important. Has not been realized, may never be realized. If we catch that and we go, okay, I am still wanting to be in a relationship with who they are right now without me holding them up, without me pushing them into something, without me pouring something into them, or energy or light or love or something, without me doing anything, them just standing by themselves on their own, me not getting involved at all, energetically shifting them, maneuvering them, doing whatever it is that I do, because we always, all of the time, influence each other, all of the time. But if who they are without my influence is someone that I want to spend time with, I want to be intimate with, I want to be in relationship with in some form or fashion, who they are without my influence, boom, that is so good. That is so good. Who they are without you. Without you. This also calls us out on where we try to be caretakers, where we try to be saviors, where we try to be whatever it is that we're trying to be. And sometimes those are our own patterns, and sometimes those deep patterns are what creates repetitive loops in relationships, right? Even if they're new relationships, it's still the same pattern, right? And it's a deep ingrained thing in some of us. So just something to really be aware of around that. A few other things that we can feel into is how ungrounded do we get around them? Or how grounded do we feel? Sometimes if we're around another and we just feel our energy going up, or it gets really, really, really heady, like really chatty, that can be great, but know that we're having a mental relationship. So this is us coming up here. We're having a mental relationship, and that can be wonderful and amazing. But if we want a full-bodied relationship, a really grounded relationship, we just want to be honest about it. It's just another thing to be aware of and to feel into when we're listening to our body to give us clues and to tell us if this relationship is for us. All right. If you want to go deeper into relationships, check out Rewilding Your Relationships. It's a new program that we just put together where we deep dive into our own authentic core blueprint of relationship, we also deep dive and really work embodiment practices, big inner alchemical practices that really open up ourselves to our intuition, really open ourselves to our truth, really peels back some of the absorbed conditioning or the false layers or the false masks, like I talked about, those projections or those weird inner patterns that we don't even know are there that could be unconsciously sabotaging relationships or unconsciously calling in the same relationship that you're just really sick of having. Those are oftentimes deep in the unconscious, and it just takes a little bit of journeying into that territory, working in that territory to shift the outer, to shift all of the relationships in our outer lives. So if that's something that sings to you, please check out the program. You'll find the details below. You'll find them up here. It's just released. If you're watching this video at the time that this has come out, it's just released and there's a really cool offer on it, plus a ton of really great bonuses. I think there's, I don't know, like $200 or $300 worth of extra bonuses that come with this program right now. So if that sings to you, I would love to see you there. Also, I would love to hear in the comments if you would love to go further into that masculine, feminine. And if you want to feel into the different wisdom areas that we just felt into, right? Throat, heart, gut, sexual center, and share which one brought you the most insight. I would love to hear. I would love to hear. If you feel to share, I would love to hear. All right, so much love to you. I will see you when I see you, where I see you, and how I see you. Mwah.